Well, beautiful.
It's what we can do now with technology, and it's just the most amazing kind of.
The studio lights blaze down on the set of The View, where the familiar hum of daytime television fills the air. The audience, primed for another hour of polished banter, claps on cue as the hosts, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and Whoopi Goldberg, settle into their seats. The energy is bright, the smiles rehearsed, and the rhythm of the show feels as predictable as ever. It's April 11th, 2025, and today's guest is none other than Morgan Freeman, a name that carries the weight of cinematic legend. His presence alone elevates the room, promising a conversation that might transcend the usual fluff of morning talk shows. But what unfolds over the next few minutes isn't just a routine interview gone awry. It's a moment that peels back the curtain on the unspoken rules of mainstream media, exposing a tension that reverberates far beyond the studio walls. The segment begins as expected. Freeman, cool and composed, strides onto the set to a wave of applause. His voice, that unmistakable blend of velvet and thunder, commands attention even before he speaks. He's there to promote his latest project, a Netflix docuseries called Life on Our Planet, a sweeping exploration of Earth's history and humanity's impact on it. The hosts ease him into the conversation with familiar talking points: climate change, the documentary's stunning visuals, and the looming threat of mass extinction. Freeman responds with his signature gravitas, his words measured but potent. Life on the planet is in a little bit of trouble, he says, pausing for effect, and we're the cause of it. The audience claps, a reflex trained by years of televised cues. Whoopi nods politely, Sunny leans in attentively, and Joy flashes her trademark grin. Everything feels choreographed, smooth, controlled, safe. But then the conversation takes an unexpected turn. Sunny Hostin, perhaps sensing an opportunity to dig deeper, shifts gears. She brings up a lesser-known project of Freeman's, a documentary called 7/6 about the first all-black tank battalion in World War II, known as the original Black Panthers. She stumbles over the title, her words faltering as she tries to move past it quickly. Freeman, ever the gentleman, corrects her gently but firmly. 7/6 first, he says, his voice steady. The original Black Panthers. The correction is subtle, but it lands like a pebble in still water, sending ripples through the studio. The air thickens, and you can almost feel the producers tensing up behind the cameras. This is no longer just a promotional chat. It's something else entirely. Freeman seizes the moment, steering the conversation away from the scripted pleasantries. He begins speaking candidly about representation, or rather the lack of it in early Hollywood. His tone remains calm, but there's an edge to his words, a quiet authority that demands attention. Growing up, I hardly ever saw Black people on screen, he says, his eyes scanning the hosts. And when I did, they were always in the same roles. Always. That's what we were allowed to be. The words cut through the room like a blade, sharp and precise. He pauses, letting the truth settle. How many times did I see Black people in the movies? And if I did see them, what were they doing? Servants. Servants. The audience shifts uncomfortably, their applause replaced by a tense silence. Joy lets out a nervous laugh, her usual wit momentarily disarmed. Sunny offers a stiff nod, her smile tightening. Whoopi clears her throat, visibly trying to steady the moment. The tension is palpable now, crawling across the table like static. But Freeman isn't finished. He shifts to the present, his voice still even but pointed. We still cherry-pick the stories we tell, he says. The ones that are safe, the ones that fit the narrative. There's no theatrics, no raising of his voice, just truth, delivered with the precision of a man who spent decades navigating the world's stages. The weight of his words hangs in the air, undeniable and impossible to ignore. He's not just talking about Hollywood anymore, he's peeling back layers of history, exposing the gaps in the stories we've been fed. The hosts, caught off guard, struggle to respond. Sunny's eyes dart toward Whoopi, searching for a lifeline. Joy glances off camera as if looking for a producer's cue. Whoopi, sensing the moment slipping out of control, tries to diffuse it. Well, that was the time, you know, she says, her voice almost reflexive. Things were just different. It's a weak attempt to smooth the edges, and Freeman isn't buying it. He turns to her, his gaze steady and unwavering. Different, yes, he says, his tone calm but firm. But not the whole story. There were Black entrepreneurs, inventors, pilots, teachers. That part, Hollywood left out. The words land, like a quiet thunderclap, exposing not just the past, but the present, where narratives are still shaped and controlled. In that moment, you can almost hear the panic behind the scenes, as if someone in the control. Room slammed an emergency button. The atmosphere shifts visibly. Sunny's smile falters, turning brittle. Joy fidgets, her usual confidence shaken. Whoopi leans in, trying to steer the conversation back to safer ground, but it's too late. Freeman's truth has taken over the room, commanding and unshakable. The View thrives on light chatter, friendly debates, and celebrity fluff, daytime TV comfort food designed to keep viewers cozy and advertisers happy. But this moment is anything but comfortable. It's raw, unfiltered, and coming straight from one of the most revered voices in Hollywood. Freeman isn't ranting or accusing, he's educating, telling stories with the quiet authority that has defined his career. And yet, it's clear the producers aren't prepared for this. As he continues, speaking about the importance of preserving Black history and projects like 7/6 First, Whoopi's demeanor changes. Her eyes flicker off stage, searching for something or someone. Then, right in the middle of Freeman's thought, she cuts in. "Oh wow, we're out of time," she says, her voice abrupt and final. "Morgan, thank you so much for joining us. Such an important conversation." The camera zooms out, the outro music swells, and just like that, the segment ends. Freeman, still seated, still poised, still with more to say, is left in silence as the curtain drops. The audience claps on cue, but the energy in the room feels wrong. Thick, uneasy, electric. What just happened? This wasn't a B-list celebrity rambling through a forgettable interview. This was Morgan Freeman, a cinematic icon, a national treasure, being silenced in real time. The immediate question echoing in viewers' minds is, why? Was it something he said? Or was it something the View didn't want heard? Because what happens next doesn't just reveal a TV flub, it exposes something deeper, something far more unsettling than a moment of awkwardness on daytime television. It doesn't take long for the internet to catch fire. Clips of the abrupt cut spread across platforms like wildfire, each frame dissected and analyzed. On Twitter, users are relentless. Did they really just cut off Morgan Freeman mid-thought? One tweet reads, racking up thousands of likes. He was literally educating them, and they panicked, another user writes, attaching a slowed-down clip of Whoopi's glance off stage. YouTube comments pile up under bootleg uploads of the segment. The man gave us God, Nelson Mandela, and Lucius Fox, and they gave him 6 minutes, one viewer quips, earning a flood of upvotes. Even TikTok joins the fray, with users breaking down the exact moment the energy shifted, tracing the producer's signal in Whoopi's earpiece. The edits go viral, the outrage builds, and the consensus is clear. This wasn't an accident. The backlash isn't just about the moment, it's about the pattern. Fans and commentators start pulling receipts, digging up old clips of The View, cutting off guests mid-thought. Scientists, activists, politicians, whenever the conversation veers too deep, too real, or too uncomfortable, the plug gets pulled. One user posts a montage of abrupt segment endings, each one eerily similar to Freeman's. They had time for celebrity gossip and political sound bites, the caption reads, but not for actual truth from a legend. The viewership, already polarized by the show's reputation for selective narratives, smells blood. This isn't new, they argue. It's just the most blatant example yet. Then there's the elephant in the room. Freeman's past. Years ago, he faced allegations of inappropriate behavior from multiple women, claims that sparked a media storm. He issued a statement at the time saying, "Anyone who knows me or has worked with me knows I'm not someone who would intentionally offend. I apologize to anyone who felt uncomfortable." The controversy eventually faded, but it left a mark. For some, it's a lingering shadow. For others, it's irrelevant to his contributions. Either way, it's clear that when someone like Freeman speaks on sensitive topics, race, history, representation, media execs get nervous. His voice carries too much weight, his words too much power. And in a world where narratives are tightly controlled, that makes him dangerous. What the producers didn't count on, though, is the audience's response. Far from abandoning him, viewers rally behind Freeman, their loyalty fierce. When Morgan Freeman speaks, people listen, one commenter writes. And when he gets silenced, they ask why. The outrage isn't just about the cut, it's about what it represents. Freeman didn't shout or accuse. He told the truth quietly, clearly, and with the kind of respect earned over a lifetime. And that apparently was too much. Social media becomes a battleground, with hashtags like None Let Morgan Speak trending alongside clips of the interview. Fans share stories of his philanthropy,